Hey everyone, welcome to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay, and come paint along with me. Grab a brush, grab some paints, grab a model, and let's get some work done. Rid the world of unpainted models. I'm going to keep going on these gargoyles. It's probably going to be the whole month of February working on gargoyles. So in the end, I'm going to get 30 models done. If that happens, it happens. That's still 30 models less that I have to paint in the future. It's been a really busy month, as I predicted. So I'm probably going to extend Tyranids into March. Get another month going and just really put a dent in my unpainted armies for Tyranids. And then I'll start on the other armies, probably orcs again. Or we'll see. I'm going to choose another army. It'll all be good. And so, yeah, let's get started on Tyranids, continue high February, and have some fun. Hey everyone, so I'm still working on the gargoyles. Here's a giant pile of them because the bases are kind of falling apart. I'm going to have to fix the bases. So, yeah, I'm working on them. They're coming along slowly but surely. I've got the wings basically done on them. And now it's time to do, the last couple sets of things are the guns, which are a two-step process. I just hit them with Lothern blue and then a blue shade. And then all the little talon parts. I first paint them black and then do a quick red gradient on them. As well as I use to paint the gums and the tongue at the same time. So yeah, good stuff there. But it's been a really, really busy month so far because it's only like halfway through the month, right? Yesterday, last weekend was Valentine's Day. But I'm going to the Las Vegas Open, and I've had to get a lot of work done because I had to get a lot of videos done ahead of time, so that way there's not really a drop in videos. I didn't want there to be. Sorry that there wasn't a How to Play 40K last week. There was an error in the rendering. It was rendering when I was filming the last one, and so I fixed it. I had to re-render it, which took a long time for some random reason. As I said, somebody pointed out, as I said, there's no real wear and tear on my computer. I might have to reinstall everything because it's just taking forever now. The last battle report took over 24 hours to render. But yeah, so it's been pretty brutal. But I continue on. So as I said, it's the videos are coming along well. So this week you're not going to even really notice that big of I don't think there's going to be any really of a drop of videos, which is what I want to do, And I will be heading to Vegas tomorrow. And it's going to be fun. A lot of fun. I am excited, very much excited. Tired, but very excited about it's going to be fun. I need a few days vacation. It's going to be just really exciting to just relax for a few days. I'm going to still film. I'm going to probably, vlog it. But it's going to be fun. I'm very much excited. I've never been to Vegas before. We're seeing one of my favorite comedy duo acts, magicians, Penn and Teller, which is going to be awesome. So next week in this Painting with Jay, I'm going to talk about my trip to Vegas and how awesome it was. And, hopefully I didn't get robbed, knock on wood, and that kind of stuff. I've been told certain areas avoid after dark. Makes sense. That was a recent break. Oh. And yeah, so as I said, things are good. This week's painting tutorial in the warp, in case you're all wondering and you want to go check out the warp. It is a Malifaux model. I got a request for a Malifaux model, and I went with a relatively simple model. It was kind of fun to paint up because I didn't even use washes or shades because it's such a small, fine detail model. So here he's called the Essence of Power. So I just did a quick blending up with him. So, yes, I did. That was very mysterious. Paint up the skin, bit of a glowing effect. Turned out cool. So, and next week's tutorial, I'm done. I just got to base him. Nemesis, Zandrek. Look at him. So he looks pretty awesome too. And he is really cool on the battlefield. I can't wait to get him in battles. And yeah, so it's been pretty good. Sorry, I'm getting text messages, but apparently they're quasi-important. There we go. So switch brushes. Let's keep going. Yeah, I'm really excited. Vegas is going to be real fun. What did I do for Valentine's Day? Nothing. My wife and I didn't really celebrate Valentine's Day because we're kind of going on this vacation together. You know, she's going to a convention, I'm going to a conference, or sorry, I'm going to a convention, she's going to a conference, but we're still going to spend a lot of time together. So we decided that is the romanticness that we need. We didn't need to, you know, necessarily work. Plus, she had to work Saturday night anyway, and so did I, actually. We both had to work Saturday night. So I didn't actually see her for more than 5 minutes on Valentine's Day. It's okay. You know, as I said, it's not that you spend necessarily Valentine's Day with. It's, you know, we know we love each other. All that stuff. What else? Last week I filmed a battle report. So it'll be up, actually it should be already up. Should have been up on Tuesday. This is Thursday. And it was an Astra Militarum against Tyranids battle report. I was playing my Tyranids because I've been doing a Tyranid painting challenge. And as I kind of predicted, I didn't know what army my opponent would bring. But I thought, oh, when I was deciding that list, I thought, oh, I really hope I'm not facing Astra Militarum because it's going to be a gong show. And I faced Astra Militarum, and it was a lot of high armor. And Tyranids really don't have an answer to high armor other than like, all right, we have the giant gun that a Tyrannifex has, but he only gets 2 shots. It's strength 10 with really no AP. So even if it pens, it's not, you can't one-shot a vehicle with it because you can pen it and hopefully maybe take out a gun or immobilize it. But with Astra Militarum, immobilization really doesn't matter because a lot of the time, like what my opponent did was he put all of his tanks behind an Aegis defense. It was a very good strategy. It was a great game, obviously. I'd love to play against him again. He was a great guy. He had no idea what I was bringing. There was no list tailoring whatsoever. He was a great opponent. He was a very friendly. Like, him and I always have great times playing against each other. He's much like me. He plays for fun. So I was like, okay, I didn't have a Tyrannifex anyway. I'm going to build mine probably next month. But there's the Zoanthrope Psychic Power, Warp Lance, and I actually had that Psychic Power, and it got denied, unfortunately, as you've probably seen in the battle report. And then I have Hive Guard, but Hive Guard only strength 8. Once again, really no AP. I think they're AP 4, so they can glance them. And then what else do I have? Really nothing. Tyranid Close Combat Smashing, so 1 attack at AP 2, right? The odds of destroying a vehicle with 1 attack at AP 2 is really not very good. Because you need 3s to hit, so 2/3 chance of hitting. Rear armor, I think, of those vehicles was 11, so it was a good chance of penning. So 5/6 times 2/3, and then times 1/6 chance of blowing it up, right? Because AP 2. So it was fun. The only thing is, his list was very immobile, and my list wasn't. Like, he was just blowing me off the table, but still, I was able to move around. And his list couldn't really move around. So, and we're playing Maelstrom of War, and I really do like Maelstrom of War because it's a very good equalizer in that sense. Because if he got, you know, secure objective 5, and 5 is in my deployment zone, he's not getting to it. There's no real way he's going to get to it. And only 2 objectives were in his deployment zone. So he had to really hope that he got them. So it was actually a very close score. And so go check out the battle report. I'm not going to say who wins, but it was an uphill battle for the Tyranids. But it was okay. You know, as I said, I did not design Tyranids knowing that I was up against Astra Militarum, and he did not design his list knowing he was up against Tyranids. It was just that sometimes when you're filming battle reports, one of you has a very, like the first battle report, it was against Stu. The first time I played against Stu, I brought Grey Knights, and it was a list that someone sent me, and I had no idea what he was bringing. And my list ended up being a very, very strong counter to his army. And then this battle report, he didn't know what I was bringing, and his army was a very strong counter to what I was bringing. And it's okay. You know, when that happens, it happens. You know, we're still going to have a great time, film it, and make as good of a battle report as we can. You know, it's not... I don't forfeit. I don't throw temper tantrums. I will joke a lot during both battle reports, either one winning or losing. I'll be like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. Besides that, it was good. Good time. And as I said, definitely play Stu again. He's an awesome dude. He really does. I love playing against wargamers that have the same mentality as me. We play for fun. We're not out to destroy each other. We're out to play different armies, have a great time. Just focus on this guy. Semi. I feel like the camera's focusing on. Alright, that should be good. So, it was awesome. And then, as I said, next week you're getting a preview of the Face-Off series that I've been doing the Warped for so long. That'll be cool, because I won't have time to film a battle report this week, seeing as I'm not going to be here. So, but that's okay. My goal is just to put out as much content as I can for both of my channels. I typically put out, as I said, between 4 and 5 videos each week for the channels. Like last week was a little low. I think I put out 3 videos for my free channel. Only 3. I'm such a failure. But it's okay. It's cold here in Canada, but of course that's stereotypical. Today has a high of minus 25, I'm pretty sure, Celsius. It's one of those temperatures where you walk outside and you instantly just go, oh, it's cold. I'm pretty good with cold though. I'm not someone who gets cold easily. I walk to my other job and it's about 2.5 kilometers away. I walk all the time, so if it's cold out, I just walk. It doesn't affect me too much. But then I hear my coworkers complaining, like, if they have to go outside for a minute, it's cold. I gotta change my ringtone for this specific person's text messages, because that's really loud. But it's okay. Life's good. That's all I can say. And as I said, this month I'm not getting the most done with my painting challenge, but points-wise, but model-wise, 30, 25, this is actually technically 25, but then the best part is, 2 weeks ago when I started doing this painting challenge for the Gargoyles, I mentioned to you that I thought it was weird that I had 25, and I couldn't figure out why, and I found the other 5 the other day. Most of them are painted. So I'll finish them up as well. So 30 Gargoyles, you know what, that's the average way I use them, that's 240 points. Not the most amount of points in a month, but it's 30 models that will not be needed to be painted again. 30 models that are done, that can end up in battle reports. And you know what? That's good. And on top of that, like, painting 40k alone, if you count all my tutorials as well, like this month I painted also Nemesis Zandrek, and he's 100 and something points. And then I painted up a Titan, right? I painted up a Lancer. So that's 400 points. So total is 900 points about. And that's okay. So 900 points of 40k that is battle ready. And that's what the spirit of this painting challenges are. Is just get as much done as you can. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. Just get as much as you want done. And it feels so good. I love the feeling. I'm not even close to burned out yet. And I thought I'd be a little bit burning out by the time I got to this point, because I've been doing these painting challenges since October, right? October painting challenge, and I thought I was definitely going to be burned out by the time I got to like February, March, and I haven't. I'm not even close to being burned out right now, and it feels great. I love the feeling of accomplishment that I get, and on top of that, I now I know that I really do understand that one of the things that people are looking for in my battle reports is different lists. And this is one of the ways of bringing them in, right? By painting new models, I can bring them in and have them painted in nice and try out new lists and have a good time. And that's what people want to see. And that's good. So it feels really good painting up these models and having them painted up, you know. It really is. During this entire episode of Painting with Jay, I'll probably only be painting these tips black, and that'll be like my entire day. An hour's worth of painting will accumulate to, I painted 30 Gargs tips of their wings black. But that's okay. And I used the Gargoyles in the battle report, and they actually did stuff. They're definitely not as good as they used to be. I was a little sad at how disappointed. Like, I'm not disappointing them. They were pretty good. They did some goodness. But to me, like, I remember how the Gargoyles used to be in 5th edition, right? They were hilarious. Blinding Venom was amazing. Because for every 6 to hit, especially if you got preferred enemy near them, because they'd be hitting on 4s, reroll 1s with Blinding Venom. So every time you hit with a 6, it was an auto wound, and you didn't have to roll for that wound. So that combined with Toxin Sacs would just rip through everything. And now Blinding Venom's like, you can forfeit your things to have an automatic 6-up poison. And I was like, what? That's pretty silly. I just give them Toxin Sacs. Then they have a 4-up poison anyway. So they were pretty cool. You know, they got the assault off a couple times, and they actually killed some stuff. It was good. A couple times. So, they were cool. I'm really excited to I gotta get some more Necron stuff. I know. Oh, and by the way, I know that the Harlequin codex is coming out this week on Saturday, and I know you people are used to me doing a review the day of release or the weekend of release. Typically, the latest I've ever done is the Monday, and this week I'm not doing one. I can't. When it's released, I will be in Las Vegas, and I'm bringing my camera, but I'm not bringing anything editing because I'm not going to my laptop's fried. The screen is fried, right? So I can't see the screen, and I have to rely on a monitor. So when I go to like a Adepticon or Gen Con, I can bring the monitor with me and put it in my hotel room and be okay. But I can't bring one on a plane to Vegas. So I will not be editing any videos in the next little bit. And unfortunately, I can't do that. Maybe I'll do the Codex review when I get back. The only problem is by that point is it would kind of be past the point of return in the sense that everyone else would have already done their review on it. Now, I know you guys want my opinion and stuff, but the information is going to be out there. I don't think this is going to be a codex with a lot of information. I think it's going to be a lot of fluff and backstory and nice pictures, followed by 3 or 4 pages of actual codex. Because it's an elite codex, like they did with the homunculi coven. And it's a very small amount of units that are in this codex, I'm pretty sure. There's going to be like Harlequins. Harlequins on jet bikes. Harlequins in the vehicle. You know? I don't know. I don't see this as being a very full codex with rules. Kind of like the Imperial Knights Codex, where it was like 50 pages of fluff and pictures, followed by literally 2 pages of actual rules for the models. It was just like, what? I thought, GW, you're being a little silly charging that much for that codex. Now, I know there's a lot of nice pictures in it, and you built a big book, but you didn't have to build that big of a book. It could have been a download. You know, it was kind of silly to charge that much for that codex. And I know a few people have actually purchased the codex thinking it's a full codex, and you really could have gotten almost all the information from the White Dwarf that came out the weekend before. Yeah. So, yeah. That's cool. Harlequins are getting some love. They weren't really a squad that got love in 6th or 7th edition. So last time I've seen Harlequins used in competitive list was 5th. And they were amazing in 4th. 4th they were awesome because they could just jump between combats. But yeah, that was a different time. Times change. I think this is going to be a really good year. As I said, I'm excited for the Vegas Open. And then I get back, and 3 weeks later, I'm going to Chicago for the for Adepticon, and it's gonna be awesome. My first convention was Adepticon last year, and since then, you know, I would have gone to a couple more between them. So, but I'm excited, and yeah, this year, just my goal is work, 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 work. I want to be the hardest working candy in town, as I say. And I'm gonna, you know, that's what I'm gonna do. Just work really hard. Because in our niche, we're not a big niche, and there are a lot of really good YouTubers in our niche. It's not just me or and a couple others. It's a lot of good people. So you gotta work hard. If you want it to be successful, you gotta work really hard. Because these days, everyone's making videos, right? So. And people to ask me, you know, and it sounds really cheesy when I say this, but people ask me all the time, they're like, how do you get more popular in your niche? So the easiest way is just work. Make videos. You know, people won't subscribe if they don't see content. It's, you know, they got to see content that they like, and if they do, they'll subscribe. And if you make a lot of content regularly, people are like, yeah, totally I'll subscribe, you know. And you have subscribers and you have views, and it just keeps going. It snowballs. It really does start to snowball. And I've been seeing that lately, especially with my content. That, you know, every month I'm getting more subscribers than the previous month. Every month I'm getting more views than the previous month. And it just keeps going. Yeah. But the key is content. You gotta like it. You gotta make content that you like to make and that people want to watch. Excellent. Another gargoyle done. I'm getting better. I'm a little sick lately, but that's what happens this time of year, right? It's cold season. All right, done. Look at that. Done all the black tips. Yay, black tips done. So it's time to do some red. So I gotta find my Mephiston red. Where did I put the Mephiston red? There it is. And let's paint some redness onto them. So one of my questions to y'all is, did you have a good Valentine's Day? Did you celebrate Valentine's Day? Were you with someone? Were you by yourself? Did you have a good time? Go bowling? Bowling is the sport of love, after all. And yeah, that's one of my questions to y'all. Because I'm curious. I always like this Q&J. I really like painting with J. To be honest, is actually more fun for me than Q&J. But I like both. They're both fun series. I just love painting. And at the end of an hour of painting with J, I have painted models. And the hour at the end of Q&J, my eyes hurt. So, but I like Q&J, and I'm doing Q&J now. I try to do it bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. That way, it's a good amount. One day I'd love to do a live show, but it just isn't in the cards for a while because my computer can barely handle rendering. So I can't really do the live show thing. And you guys saw the quality of my two-person review on the Blood Angels Codex. It was not amazing quality. So, not yet. No live show yet. But one day I'd love to. Live shows would be a lot of fun. And if I do a live show, I've decided that I'm going to do it twice a week. An hour. An hour a day. An hour per session, twice a week would be my goal. At two very different times. So that way I can actually grab and actually be able to interact with different time zones. Because when I was doing live shows back when I was working at Mini, or not even when I was working at Mini Wargaming, I stopped before I was working at Mini Wargaming, but my time of my show was really, really good because it was 10 o'clock at night to midnight. It was really good for like New Zealanders and Australians because they're time zone, right? But the Europeans and the British never watched my show, and we actually found the demographics on these because no one ever watched my show from these countries because to them it was morning, like it's sleeping time. So I figure if I ever do a live show again, I'm definitely going to do twice, one maybe around noon, because that would be noon Canada time, and Canadians could watch if they had the chance, and the British and Europeans could watch because it would be evening for them, or like 1 o'clock because that would make it like just past dinner time, and that way people could actually interact with me. They wouldn't be at work, and then I do another one later in the day, so that I can communicate once again with the Australians and New Zealanders. We have to thank the Kiwi people because of Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I was watching the keynote speaker from TempleCon, and it was really funny. They gave the people who went to TempleCon a code to get a custom skin for their Warjack for... there's a video game called Tactics, War Machine Tactics. And the best part about it was the guy said, the skin is actually, it makes the model look unpainted. And he goes, that way it can match all your models. And everyone was just like, oh, and he laughed. I thought it was awesome. Because if you looked around the tables, it was like nothing was ever painted. And that's kind of the spirit, not all this time with War Machine and Hordes, but I do really find that is kind of the case with a lot of them, is that their paint jobs are very minimal. It's because I think a lot of ways War Machine and Hordes targets a specific demographic of gamers that there, I've always said that there's painters, there's players, and there's both. I'm definitely in the both category, but I'm closer on the painting side. I love to paint. I love to play as well, but I love to paint as well. And I paint definitely more than I play. But I love both. And then I'd say I'm a both, for sure. But then there's people like Chris at Mini Wargame. I'd kind of say he's a painter. For 40K, he's a painter. Now for War Machine Hordes, he's kind of a both, but he paints a lot more than he plays. He doesn't play much at all, and he paints a lot. He's a very gifted painter, and he's a very artistic painter. He comes from, like, for me, I come to painting. My attempt at painting is very almost mathematical and scientific. I think very this step where it makes sense, make it make sense. And that's why I try to teach through my Miniature Painting 101. I try to teach from a very... I missed a guy's black tips. Oh. Oh, shoot. I also didn't paint that guy's tongue. I'll do it after. My approach is very, like, my mindset, very mathematical, very scientific, versus Chris is very artistic. He thinks that comes at it from artistic level. So we both bring very different information to the table. And that's why we never felt we were ever stepping on each other's toes or anything, because we're both very different painters and we come at things from very different angles. And even if we do the same tutorial, like, you're going to find that the Warp, Miniature Painting 101 and the Vault have some same tutorials. but we do very different styles, very different color methods, and we describe it in different ways. Makes sense. We're different painters. So, what was I saying? And then there's the other end of the spectrum that are the players. And the players want to play. And the haters are going to hate. And we're just going to shake it off. Sorry, I just wanted to say that. But the players just want to play. They don't want to paint. They want to come up with the most badass combinations that they can think of. They want to come up and destroy people. They want to just get a model, put it together, put it on the battlefield, and have some time. They don't want to paint. They want to play. And I would define these people as like Owen from mini wargaming. And Ash is definitely both. And but Owen, Dave, Matt, they're not painters. They're players. They don't want to paint. They want to play. They don't want their model. They don't want to spend all the time painting their models. They just want to play with their models. And I respect that. None of these is better than the others. But we all have different levels of fun with these games. And I find that the combined people, the people that love to paint and play, probably have the most fun. They're usually the most fun people because the people who paint, a lot of them don't like to play the game. So they don't have fun playing the game, but they have fun painting. The people who like to the people who like to play the game but don't like to paint, they're usually very competitive and want to win because they want to play. Not all the time. Some of them can play for fun as well, for sure. But Owen, for example, he really loves to win, and he's a very competitive player, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's his style, and nothing's wrong with that. Obviously, you know what? If you want to bring that approach, I respect that. I just don't do that. I'm not that kind of player. But there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely, right? But I find that the people in between kind of have the most fun because we can see every brush stroke in our models that we did, and we can recognize the paint jobs of our opponents and how hard it was for them to accomplish what they did and how gifted they might be. And it tends to go with the fluff. Like, the more I paint models, the more I want to, like these gargoyles, the more I have them painted, the more I want to have them on the battlefield. I really want to play with them now, and it just feels great to have them being painted on. A horde of gargoyles flying around the battlefield. It feels great. So I find that, in my opinion, we have the most fun. It's kind of, we don't need to win to have a good time. And that's not, as I said, I'm trying not to be a generalist and just generalize everyone into the three categories, because there are some people who don't like to paint but have an amazing time playing. They play for fun. They don't need to have painted. That's great too. None of these are better than the others, but we all come at the game. I do find that we all come at the game from very different perspectives and very different methods of collecting. The painters will paint various models from various groups and don't necessarily even have to have a connection to them. Like when I met Oasis Rising I met her at Adepticon, but when I saw her at Gen Con, she's a painter, definitely a painting type. But Oasis Rising, she was grabbing models from very different games, and because they looked good, and she wanted to paint them, and that's awesome. And then there's the players who they collect usually from the same faction, right? Because they're playing, and they collect at rapid speed. They are by far the quickest group to collect models because they can just buy and put them together and play. They don't have to have any concern over the painting time required to get these models in check. And versus the people in between, like me, every now and then we kind of hit a wall, saying, "Oh my goodness, look at how many unpainted models I have. I can't keep buying models. I have to stop and paint my models." And that's what I've been doing for the last 5 months. I hit a point where during the move, I looked at the amount of models I had, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is getting silly." At how many models I have in my armies that are unpainted, especially Tyranids and Orcs. I really don't have an excuse. I am a wargamer, and I'm a wargamer who makes videos on wargaming. really should have painted models. And that's what I've been doing. Busting my butt. Maple Leafs made a trade. Oh, okay. I've been busting my butt for the last 5 months and getting my models painted. And this has been the best 5 months of my painting career, just getting this work done. And it feels great. As I said, I feel great. I really do. Now all I gotta do is get in better shape for the new year. Good shape. It's awesome, you know. But as I said, no approach is better than the other. And then there's the people that are even more hardcore than me. And I have nothing but amazing respect for them. The people that kit bash. I am not a kit basher. I think about it in my head, and sometimes I think about it, but maybe I'm not. I don't say I'm lazy. I'm too busy painting. But I see people with kit bash models, and they look awesome, you know. And I totally love that. And it's amazing to me, the creativity behind kit bashing. Especially, I'm an orc player. I really don't have an excuse to not have kit bash models. You know, I see the work of David Battaglia, like these little dudes that I've been slowly getting painted. And it just, makes me feel happy. And I wish that I had that kind of creativity, but I'm not. I'm more of a painter, and I play, and you only have a certain amount of time in the day, and you can only allocate your time in various ways, and I understand that. You know, that's what we all do. Some of us want to think more Tactica, some of us want to paint, some of us want to play, some of us just want to collect, and it's all okay. That's the great thing about our game, is that there's so many ways to approach how you want to be a wargamer. There really is. I've also been telling that to new people who are starting up channels, is that you don't necessarily have to focus on everything that other people focus on. Find whatever you want to focus on. Because there will be other people on YouTube that want the same thing you want, for sure. Now, the problem is, we're in a small niche. This is what the only downside to that strategy is. We're in a small niche, right? The biggest YouTubers in the world are mini wargaming, and they're a relatively small YouTuber compared to the big game. You know, if you take the big players in most other niches, video games, for example, we're tiny, right? Even board games, we're a speck compared to them, and that's okay. But the problem is, the more you dissect your channel, like if you only focus on painting, you have to be aware that you will not get, you know, 1 million subscribers. You never will. You won't. You may not even get 100,000. I don't think, if I ever get 100,000, it's going to take a long time for me. Mini wargames crossed 100,000. Besides that, they're the only ones to ever cross 100,000 subscribers. You know, and I understand that. I'm never going to hit 1 million subscribers with this channel, and that's not a bad thing. You just got to set realistic goals, because we're a small niche, and the more you dissect your channel to be a part of the hobby, the more you dissect your audience, right? You know, yeah. That's okay. As I said, you shouldn't create videos to try to get rich. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. If it is, do Kinder Egg and wrappings or something, whatever they're called. But I want to have a successful YouTube channel. That doesn't mean money. It means that I can do this for a living and make a living off it. I don't have to be rich. I just have to suffice. And yeah, I'll be happy. And remember, the haters are going to hate. Yep. players are going to play. And the painters are going to paint. And we're just going to shake it off. Shake it off. I love throwing random Taylor Swift references into my work. Oh, and for those of you wondering about, I got a couple of questions already about the intro for last week's Q&J. It was using a smoke effect, obviously. From M Smokes. But it was pretty fun. I like to have fun, goofy intros for that show, and I thought it'd be kind of funny just to say something like, "Don't put your paints in the microwave," with a giant amount of smoke in the room, and so I intentionally drowned out the room with smoke. These guys are pretty when I use them in the battle report, you're gonna see they actually looked decent. They're not in bad shape because they already have 3 colors on them, and they're not in bad shape at all. I want to have them fully painted though, obviously, because that's better than not put on another guy's nails. Adding a bit more of Mephiston Red into my palette. I really should pack. I'm leaving very short. Not very shortly, but I'm leaving soon for Vegas. I really should pack. And here it's like minus 25 degrees Celsius, and there it's plus 25 degrees Celsius. So I'm excited for that. It's gonna be weird not seeing Rubik and Spock for a little bit. But that'll be okay. That'll be fine. We have a house sitter, so one of our friends is gonna come and stay at the house and keep in shape. That way, there's always someone here. That's Rubik, just being silly. You okay? Okay. So that not much is new because I just been working. It's one of those weeks that not a lot changes in your life. I decided to buy one of those battery charger packs for your car. My car's battery isn't starting lately in the cold, so I decided to get one. Jumpstart in the morning. Because my wife actually does most of the driving lately. It's so cold out right now that one of us has to walk to work and one of us has to drive. And my wife doesn't want to walk to work because hers is farther than mine, so I understand that, and she drives. It's fair. I don't mind walking. I've walked to work most of my life, so when I have kids, I'm totally gonna be one of those fathers that's like, when I was your age, I walked uphill in snow, because I actually do. Yesterday I walked uphill in snow. Not in my father's pajamas. But I'm going to say probably that. Walk uphill, both ways, in snow, in my father's pajamas, backwards. I did have fun yesterday. I was sitting on a bench, and an elderly gentleman was talking to me, and he actually brought up, and I wasn't patronizing or anything, but it was just fun to talk to him, and he was like, young kids. I said, I know, young kids. It's just fun to be old sometimes. I'm not young. I was one of the older employees at Mini Wargaming. And Chris was the oldest. I miss them sometimes. I should go up and visit them maybe in spring when it's a little warmer. Say hi, film some battle reports. Maybe back when the Janins will be done. I wanted to go to Valhalla this year because apparently they've been having so much fun at Valhalla. I heard rumors that it's canceled. Apparently Valhalla might not be happening this year. That's unfortunate. It looked like it was a real hoot, as I would say. Seemed people had a good time, and what it really did was it brought a lot of wargamers really close together. They became good friends. I've seen that in a few groups of people, that people just know each other now and they talk all the time from Valhalla. So it's a good way to meet people. It's a bit expensive, unfortunately. That's the only downside to it, but apparently it was a lot of fun and it was worth it, but it's just a bit expensive. I don't really have that kind of money because Valhalla last year was more than I spent. Was significantly more than I spent on Adepticon and Gen Con combined. So I just didn't have the funds. This year I figured if I was looking at it ahead of time, maybe I wouldn't go to, I don't know, a con or something. I could probably maybe swing it, but apparently it's not happening. So, okay, Sarah. $46 minutes. Gargoyles. It's gonna be cool. I'm going to the desert. It's gonna be warm, apparently. Eat some buffet food. Oh. Sorry, I'm just a bit tired today. It's been one of those weeks. You know what I mean? The weeks that at the end of it, you're like, oh. That's okay. Just shows that you worked hard, probably. And I'm definitely not entering any painting competitions in this year. I was thinking about it. I was really, really thinking hard about entering one of the contests because I'm going to Adepticon, and I'm a VIG, very important gamer. So I get a free entry to every. I get like a free entry to the Crystal Brush. I don't know if that's normal for everyone, but at least I do because VIGs. But and then I was also going to Vegas Open and Gen Con, but I just don't have the time, unfortunately. I don't think I'm going to have the time to do a serious level painting competition model because it takes a lot of time. Like it's insane how much time people put into it. Like the Crystal Brush, not Crystal Brushes, the Slayer Sword winners each year at Games Days, they can spend 100+ models, 100+ hours easily on a model every year. And I just don't have that kind of time. At least not right now, because if I'm spending 100 hours of my time painting a model, that means I'm spending 100 hours less doing battle reports and painting up my other models so they're battle report ready. You know, and I just, as I said, we each have a limited time in the day to allocate, and we can't allocate towards everything we want. So, and it's getting so cutthroat. And to be honest, it's not like in no way am I thinking I'm God's gift to painting. That's the thing. Like, there's a good chance I wouldn't even win anyway. But I'd want to. I was thinking of trying it once, just to see if I could try it. And I think I'd learn a lot about myself as a painter and some techniques and stuff. But maybe one day. I'm not gonna shoot it down for in the future. Maybe one day. You know, I look at the quality of the models that each year, like last year when I went to Adepticon, I looked at the quality of the crystal brush entries, and the ones that didn't win, I was like, whoa. You know, the ones that didn't win, I was very impressed by. And they didn't win. They didn't even come in the top 3, and I was like, whoa, you know, if that doesn't come place, the level of the level of competition, I think, is really rising. As new painters come in and stuff. I know that North America isn't really known in the meta of things of painting for the competitions, but I really think it's getting better. There's some very talented painters there. I'd love to go to a games day one day. That'd be amazing. Yeah. It would have been amazing. Like, I would have totally gone to, if it was still in Chicago. But then they moved it to Memphis, Tennessee, which is a lot farther away than Chicago. You know, I'm driving to Chicago in a month. That might be a fun experience as well. But, yeah, driving to Memphis would be a bit of a time. I could fly there, but the flights are expensive. It'd be cool to be at the forefront of 40K for a weekend. I do think it's cool that Privateer Press likes to do, whenever they have the big conventions like Adepticon and Gen Con, they usually sell out day one instantly, but they do offer models that are coming out in the future. Like I bought Borka 2 last year at Adepticon, or sorry, Gen Con, and I made a tutorial on him 2 months before he actually came out to the public. It was really cool. It's in the warp, but I do think it's really cool. And if Games Workshop did that, that would be amazing. It would be like mind blowing if they released, but they don't do that, you know. No, that would be really cool. Another 5 more painting with J's, and these guys will be done. They still have a couple colors to put on them. Oh my goodness. But it'll be worth it in the end. Alright. How many more guys? There we go. There's one. Yeah. I'm going to end soon, I guess, because we're at 54 minutes. We got some stuff done. The wingtips. This guy. I have 2 more guys of this. Yeah, maybe after the color's done, we'll see. I might just call it after an hour or something. But I love these paint with J's. It's one of my favorite shows to film. I think, out of all the shows I film. Battle reports are amazingly fun too. But I just sit here and paint and ramble. And you paint along with me. See, eventually it'd be kind of cool to do a, maybe like a Google Hangout painting. But I don't know how to do that because I don't paint in the house. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe one day with the live show. Twice a week, I don't know if that'd be possible. I guess it would be possible. I feel, yeah, February's going to be over soon. A couple weeks, February's done. And then hopefully, spring's on its way and the fun begins again. Winter isn't, I don't mind winter at all. What I love about winter is the tranquility. Like when I'm walking home, I work a lot of the time till midnight on my other job. So I work till midnight and then I walk home. Like last night I was walking home at midnight. So I got home at around 12:30 in the morning. So I walk home, but I love the tranquility of winter. It's, at night, if you walk around and it's just peaceful. There's nothing, you can think, you can relax, and it's just quiet. It's such a, these days, the sound of silence can be precious, it's in our world, it's loud. And I really love I know it sounds like cheesy when I'm saying this, but I really love it. Those moments where you can just, think, and it's, and who cares that it was minus 35 when I walked home last night with the wind chill. I didn't care. But I could just think and just relax, It's nice. I love that tranquility, especially during a snowstorm. Like if it's a small blizzard and you're walking in it, it's so peaceful. Other than the occasional squeaking of tires that when cars slide out of in the snow. That's not good. I almost got hit actually pretty badly. I would have been in trouble. Like I was walking to work yesterday actually. It was yesterday, and then a car totally didn't see me. And I saw it coming, and I'm a pedestrian so long that you can kind of tell when a car sees you, and you can't just assume that car sees you, then you'll get hit. And I didn't think the car saw me, so I stopped. And the car went right through turned right. It would have been right through me if I kept walking. And didn't even think twice, kept driving. I was like, oh my goodness. Because that's the thing about being a pedestrian, is if the car makes a mistake, it's your life anyway, They get the guilt of hitting Jay, but Jay's the one who gets the pain of being hit. And picture that, I have to do live shows from a hospital or something, and that would be a little annoying. Cool. I'll finish with him. Because these Gargs are, they're coming along. But I should probably call it here. We're about an hour. Yeah, it's going to take a while to render this. So let's end here. So, thank you very much for painting along with me in this video. Unfortunately, the original take, the audio had an error. So I'm re-recording it in my office. So once again, thank you for painting along with me. Hope you got as much done today as I did. And leave comments in the comment section down below. Did you have a great Valentine's Day? Did you celebrate it? Let me know. And wish me luck. I'm off to Vegas. So talk to you soon. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting with Jay.